Oh shit, dang, that's a good result right there, boy. That's a nice one. Yeah. Outside now since I was driving around that Impala. It's just been a really long day. It's one of those days I got more stuff to do. The day's not over yet, but I want to document this car on my channel, you know, show you guys this car, help some people out that are maybe thinking about buying this car or hunting down a 6-speed manual transmission Infiniti G35S. That's a rare combo with 6-speed in this car. They didn't make too many 6-speed manual transmissions in the 08 G35S or any sedan Infiniti with the manual transmission. Factory is a rare option, so that's why I'm right here. I just had to show you guys this car. It's a pretty nice setup. It's got PBM suspension, some PBM other arms. I'll look under the car right now, give you the specifics. People keep coming by right now. I thought I was in a nice and calm structure, but people keep coming by on this low-key structure that I thought was low-key, but it's not. So let me show you guys around the car. It's pretty much a stock body. These cars look clean when they're just stock and you lower them. Don't do too many body modifications with the sedans. Maybe a coupe, but not a sedan. It's got like an aftermarket front lip on it. Looks pretty good. Gives it more of an aggressive look because the sedan front bumper stock doesn't look too aggressive. Stock headlights, tinted windows. Pretty much everything is stock. These are Yokohama Advan wheels. I think these are the, I don't know, Model 5s. I'm not sure on the exact specs, but you can check the bio of the video and I will put the offset specs of these wheels. They're a high offset, as you can see. It's got a really thick spacer on that. I didn't build this car. I'm not a fan of running spacers, so don't think I put those massive spacers on here because I don't trust spacers the way I drive. I wouldn't want my wheel to break off. Stock taillights, stock wing. This is a reverse camera car. That's another rare option on like the G35Ss. All the G37, most of the G37 and the G37S, you'll have a reverse camera. But on the G35s, like when they have the VHR motor in them, like this setup, not all of them have a reverse camera, so that's kind of a rare option. And then not all of them, I'm not sure if all of them have a wing on there. I know I had one before that had a more aggressive wing than this one, and it was factory. Stock exhaust, it does have a Y pipe on it. It sounds like crap. I mean, in my opinion, VQ35s, they never really sound too good unless you have like a single exhaust on it or something, or a nice decent setup. Let me show you guys the inside, the 6-speed manual, what it looks like. There you go. Manual transmission, that's how it looks. 3 pedals instead of 2. Got an NRG wheel and an NRG hub. It's a suede wheel, it's okay. Stock seats. This one has heated seats on it. Navigation and reverse camera, that's about it. Power everything else. Keyless entry. Let me open that. Here comes another car, I think. There's the back seat of the G35S. Same as the Journey. Same as the G35 Journey. Everything is pretty much the same. I'll show you guys on the engine as well. The engine on this car is pretty much stock. It doesn't have anything done to the engine, but I'll show you guys the motor. Let me see if I can show you guys some of the suspension. The coilovers, yeah, those are PBM coilovers. Honestly, those coilovers on it are the best riding coilovers I've ever felt. PBM, like coilovers, and BC coilovers are my favorite coilovers that I've ever ran on any of my vehicles. This is the first car that I've had PBM on, and this car is pretty much slammed. It scrapes everywhere, and it rides amazing. I love the PBM coilovers on this car. They feel great. Let me show you guys the control arms on this. So I wouldn't do this to my chassis. I would just leave the stock upper control arms. So they cut the strut towers because I guess when you put aftermarket strut towers on some of these cars, they hit when you lower the car so much. So I wouldn't recommend that unless you reinforce the strut towers. So that's kind of a con about this car. But yeah, like I said, here's so like I was saying, here's the V6, the 3.5 VHR. This is one of my favorite engines. I love just like, it's like a way more reliable VQ, and these usually have less issues with burning oil. And also they have what sensors are those? They're like I don't know if those are the NOx sensors. I don't think so. Anyways, I'll remember later. I'm just like completely dry today. Someone will correct me in the comments. But these sensors are in the back of the engine on the rev ups and the DEs, and they tend to go out a lot, and they're so hard to get to on the back of the engine. Now they moved them to the front of the engine, so it makes that maintenance a lot easier. But yeah, like I said, stock intakes, stock smog equipment. The only thing it does have is a Y pipe. So if you're looking for like a 6-speed manual trans G35S or a G37S, the G37S is, the body is pretty much the same, the chassis is the same as the G35S, but obviously you have the 3.7 VHR in the G37S with the 6-speed manual trans. I think the transmission is the same. There's some minor interior differences, but I mean, if you're looking at getting the manual trans car, G35 or G37, when you're shopping around for it, you'll notice that these cars, like when they're manual trans, they're priced a lot more than just like your standard 5AT on this one or a 7AT on a G37S. To me, like the 5AT trans on this G35S is really boring. Like a 3.5 VHR with the 5-speed automatic trans, even though it has paddle shifters, isn't all that. I mean, I've had one of those too when I was younger, but man, the 6-speed manual trans on this G35S is such a big difference. Like, I would much rather have a 6-speed manual trans than the 5AT G35S because you go through the gears so fast on the 5AT, but the 6-speed just feels so much better when you're shifting gears. And if you have a nice healthy clutch on there, it's pretty fun to drive. It's pretty nice to drive. I had a G37S 6-speed manual trans as well. I have that video on my YouTube. It should pop up. and I had a DE 6-speed manual trans sedan. So I like Infiniti's sedans only. I don't really like the coupes as much, but I like when I can get a sedan that's a rare option with a 6-speed trans. So let me give you my honest thoughts on the G35S. So if you're in the market to buy one, most of the people that watch like my older videos, like I don't make legit like car review videos. I just kind of make videos about, you know, if I really like the car, I'll make a video about it, but I'm not out here like trying to make hardcore specific reviews on these cars. But like this is a rare car, and I did have a G37S, and I had a G35S before, a 5AT trans, and the 5AT trans compared to the 6-speed trans is like night and day. This car is way funner to drive than the 5AT trans option. So if you're in the market for a 5AT or a 6-speed, the 6-speed is going to be a few thousand more because people know that they're rare and they're less common. But the 5AT trans just isn't as fun as the 6-speed, especially if you have like a healthy clutch or like a stiff clutch on these cars. They're really fun to drive. Like you rip through the gears pretty fast, and the 3.5 VHR has a decent amount of power for the age of this car and like cars that are competitive around this class for the year. And the G37S, the one that I had, was a sedan 6-speed as well. I usually try to go after sedan manuals when it comes to Infinitis. I really like that you can have a rare car like a sedan combo with a 6-speed manual trans and its original. Those are just like my favorite Infiniti cars. I'm not a fan of the G35 or the G37 coupes. I only like to get into the sedans. But I've owned pretty much all the combos for the G35 and G37 sedans. Like I've had automatics and I've had manuals. And the manual car is just a completely different experience. So I mean, if you're looking in the market for this, I would highly recommend that you do go with the manual trans over the automatic trans. To me, it's just such a more like satisfying drive. I have more fun driving the car when it's a manual trans versus, especially for the G35S, if it's a 5AT and you only have 5 gears with the VHR, like I feel like you don't get the full experience of the VHR 3.5. So I mean, but overall they're heavy cars, you know, they're not like extremely sporty to drive, or like they don't handle the best. Overall though, the G35 and the G37, they're not like tightly handling cars. I mean, you can do some suspension mods and modify like the wheels and stuff like that, strut tower bars and whatever else you want to do to the suspension. You're still going to have like a decently heavy sedan because they are big, but they are pretty cool to drive. And I like when you set them up like simple and clean, you know, like this one has just got like wheels, lowered tint, you know, some decent coilovers and control arms, rear control arms, exhaust, and then, you know, some decent real wheels. They look like nice cars and they're fun to drive. They're cool dailies, but you know, they're not the lightest vehicle. But overall, I mean, I see myself always having a sedan, an Infiniti sedan. They're just the funnest cars for me to drive versus, you know, buying a coupe. I don't like the coupes as much. So that's pretty much it, guys. A little quick video. I just wanted to do a quick, you know, glance, briefly going over this G35S 6-speed manual trans. I like to get as many cars as I can that I have on my channel because I don't always hang on to them as long, and sometimes like I regret, like, man, I should have made a video about that car because it was like a rare combo, or like I missed that car. I wish I had like a video on my channel I could watch later in the future. But this is it. You know, the car is not completely clean. It's not the cleanest. It does have its bumps and bruises and blemishes here on the body, but it's to be expected for this price range that I paid for the car. And you know, it's lowered and the suspension swapped out. It's not a stocker or a garage clean. It is a street car and it has been driven, so you know, don't expect a perfect chassis when these cars get modified and they're lowered, because they do take street damage and stuff like that from the wheels hitting the fenders, scraping over speed bumps and stuff like that. So I don't know, let me know your guys' thoughts on this car. If you're looking at buying a 6-speed manual trans G35S or a G37S, I know it's very difficult to find these cars and they're usually priced on the higher side, but hey, good luck if you're looking for one. This is my review on this car. One of my favorite cars in general, the G35 sedan, G37 sedan, and the DE sedans. As long as it has a manual trans, it'll always be one of my favorite chassis to have. I'm looking for a DE or a rev-up sedan to replace this one, the 6-speed, because I would rather fix those up. They're a bit lighter, and I like that you can do more mods to the older ones. So I'll be letting this one go, but at least I got to document it on the channel and you guys can check this out. my setup with these wheels. Now, like I said, I'll post the wheel specs in the bio. If you like the way my wheels fit, then I'll definitely put that information down below, and whatever else is done to the suspension, so that you can use the specs if you're looking to set up your car similar to this, or you want to slam it. But yeah, if you guys have any questions on sedans, G35, G37, DE rev up, I'll answer it the best that I can. I'm not a pro about Infinitis, but I have the experience of owning quite a few of these cars, so like I'll share my knowledge with you guys, whatever I can do. But thanks for checking out this video, guys. Check out some of the other cars, Nissans, Infinitis on my channel. I got quite a different variety of different videos, but thanks for checking this out. I'm gonna head up out of here. Infiniti problems when your key fob is getting low and it doesn't pick it up. Where the heck is it? Oh, right here. You gotta hold it close to the button.